I just dropped in, see what condition my condition was in. Condition report. I'm seeing a lot of changes on the Highway 37. I'm seeing the sun too. It's not too far away. I can see it through the clouds. It's still 93 million miles away. Also seeing the road widening. There are yellow lines, or have been for a while now, and big old power poles. So we're coming out of the primitive part of the highway, I believe. Starting to feel the end coming. Speaking of government intrusion, we were talking about yesterday, or I was talking, they have lots of little signs. It's not negative reinforcement. You better not do this or we'll fine you $500. It gives you a solution. It says, here's your solution to your litter. Everyone has litter. Here's a place where you can throw it away. So there's some government functions that we need, but the tone. Sometimes it's the tone that rubs people the wrong way. Shall I mention the DMV? I got a story about that for another time. Yeah, I had to get my permission to drive. Don't we all? And they know they got what you want, right? Yeah, I'm kind of get in fight mode when I get to the DMV. And whose problem is that? Is that mine? Or is it theirs? Kind of busy on this road all of a sudden, huh? A lot of orange signs. Logging trucks. The thing about following logging trucks, you want to stay back. Talk about government regulations. When they just load those logs on and drive off. They squeeze them pretty tight so, the log isn't going to fall off. But if you follow too close, you might catch a piece of bark. So I give them a lot of room. Plus, you don't want to get too close because the spray will start to affect you in the rain. It's not polite to get too close. If you can't see their mirrors, they can't see you. Now, a guy like this, these logging trucks, stereotypically, we're going uphill now, so it doesn't apply. But when they go down, they go. They let it loose. You drive a logging truck, your job is usually temporary. You got to make your money while you can, because the government sets aside chunks of the forest. Once you're done with that area, then you're done. I remember in Valdez, the government set aside a pretty good chunk of forest, and the logging companies came in. I think it was one company, a pretty big one. And the loggers, they brought their families with them. In Valdez, it's like a 300-mile long cul-de-sac at the end. You can't just commute there from many places. So these guys actually sent their kids to school. And I remember I was the editor of the paper. And this is when I drank. And I would go to bars and talk to them, and they weren't talking about leaving. I think they were hoping the government would just open up more land for them. This was about a 6-month or almost a year-long job. The government was not extending it. And I was writing about it. And I even interviewed some of them. But at the bar, people's emotions get a little high once you add a little alcohol. And the loggers, a couple of them, usually takes more than one person to come after you. It could be one bully, but they found out that I was the media. I was the one writing about this. And they thought that if nobody wrote about it, they could just keep on logging if nobody knew. I don't know. But they saw me as the enemy of the people. And the guy came over, and another guy came over, and they were bullying me, man. They were threatening me. And I thought it was going to come to, them beating my ass. before that could happen, the bouncer came over and kind of saved me, you know. That was about 25 years ago. Logging's gotten a little less controversial since then. There's a lot less clear cutting. Even then there wasn't much clear cutting, but they would do a lot of the cutting near the highway. Even if it's just select cutting, if you do it near the highway, that's bad publicity, you know. Can't you go back? I know it's more expensive to go back, but you've got to weigh it against the negative public relations. And I think some of the companies go back further now. You don't see as much right on the highway. I haven't seen any, and I've driven this, not this highway so far, I haven't seen any, but the Alaska Highway used to be, there are sections in Canada and in the United States, Alaska, where you can see the cutting. I haven't seen any cutting, fresh cutting. And even the cutting that is recent is growing over, you don't notice it anymore, like those burn sites. So yeah, this truck was creeping up the hill, but like I said, once they go down, I don't want him on my ass, you know. I don't want another logger frickin' threatening me. We're going 60 now. He's going about 65. So, you know, you learn what to do with loggers and what not to do on the road, the Northwest.